Hey everybody, this is Edward Santiago from First Choice Limousine Car Service. Jumping on here again, just talk about some more reviews that we're seeing online for other limousine services. Here's my disclaimer. This review was not from a local limousine company, and maybe give you some tips and tricks on what questions that you can ask when you're booking a limousine car service. And with that said, let's just dive in. All right, so this review, it says very rude service. If I can give 0 stars, I would. Musty car, paint was chipping, leather interior was ripping, it was a bumpy ride, and a tire even blew on the way. So, I mean, it sounds like the classic, bait and switch tactic. Bait and switch, what does that mean? So that means that we probably went on this guy's website and he probably has pictures of all new cars. They're all stock photos, right? You can go on Google and just, copy, save, and just repurpose the picture. So that's basically their false advertising. So one of the things that you could definitely do is when you call a limousine service, you can ask them the questions as to, how old are your cars? How often do you guys get new cars? And that'll kind of give you an idea, if waiver and they're like, if they say the car is older than 5 years, that you may want to rethink that decision, right? A reputable limousine service will probably turn over cars maybe every year and a half, 2 years. And even with that, that's kind of cutting it close. Depending on their volume, I mean, we could probably do 120,000 miles on a vehicle in 1 year. So with that said, we turn our cars over pretty frequently. Typically don't let them go higher than used to be able to get away with getting a car, getting 300,000 miles out of a vehicle. But because of the technology, the emission, the engines, in our opinion, they just don't run as strong as they used to. There's a lot more bells and whistles, a lot more components inside the vehicle where, it may not be in your best interest from a company standpoint, in our perspective, to hold on to a vehicle for that long. And after 150, 200,000 miles, you definitely start having some more issues with the vehicle. So that's our philosophy. Our philosophy is to hold on to a vehicle for maybe 150,000 miles, and then we get rid of it. We are a limousine service. We're not a cab company. So there's a certain element of expectation that we try to uphold. When our people book limousine service with us, we want to make sure that they know exactly what they're getting. There's no surprises. The car is definitely not going to be musty. The only thing that can make a car musty is water, dampness. And usually that means that the seals around the doors, maybe they're rotted. These are the types of things, you got to remember there's people in and out of these vehicles all the time. So they have to be maintained and they have to be kept up with. They have to be vacuumed out, cleaned, have the carpet shampooed. These aren't just regular cars that are just being used for your home, right? They're monitored, they're checked very frequently, and us and the mechanic, we have a very good relationship because we're there fixing any little thing. I'm the type of person that if the car makes a little bit of a squeaking noise, it bothers me. There's certain protocols that a limousine service should be following, and one of the things that we should be doing, just because of the volume of miles that we're doing, is doing vehicle inspections. Right? You want to make sure that the tires are not bald. You want to have the hub bearings checked frequently. You want to make sure that the suspension is operating correctly. And and the last thing that you want to do is get into a car that's riding on ball tires. You want to make sure that the car is working in tip-top shape because, let's face it, if you booked a trip to the furthest trip you can go, let's say you're going to go to Hawaii, if you miss your flight based on the mechanics of our vehicle, how much would that cost you to still get to where you need to go, right? So maybe you booked the trip, maybe the ticket was $400. But now because you missed your flight, maybe you have to get on a different flight with a different airline. We're talking, you can end up spending over $1,000 to get to where you need to go based on the negligence of the company. So we take that very seriously. The price of the vehicles are very expensive, and that's why we do what we do in the manner that we do it, because we want to make sure that there's a minimal risk in making sure that you get to where you need to go at the time you need to get there. When you book a ride with us, if you book the ride for 10 o'clock a.m., that's not 10:45. That means that we must be there by 10 to 10, because of the old adage, if you're earlier on time, if you're on time, you're late. And we are definitely always making sure that we are on time and definitely early. So that way the ease of transition from your house getting to the airport is seamless. One of the things, like I said, that you can ask the limousine company is you can ask them the age of their vehicles. You're going to ask them, do they allow eating in their vehicles? One other thing that a lot of people ask us a lot of times is did the driver smoke? if you're sensitive to smells, let's say, you need a driver that doesn't wear cologne or doesn't wear perfume, then you want to make sure that you let the driver know, that you want to let the company know that. For us, that's part of our training with our drivers, is we don't allow them to wear any strong fragrance. We don't want a driver that comes in here smells like cologne, smells like perfume, just because there are situations that somebody may have a smell sensitivity, that we want to make sure that if you get in our car, you're not going to have an asthma attack. And that's the type of stuff that that's kind of the care that we put into our pre-trip, is to make sure that we're thinking about all these different scenarios, to make sure that when you book a car to and from the airport or to and from your destination, that you are not having to worry about these obstacles. Again, so if you're booking a car service, you want to make sure you ask those types of questions. Don't be afraid to inquire. Don't be afraid to ask. That's why we're here. And if the person that you're asking the questions to, if they can't answer in a manner that satisfies you, then maybe that's not the company that you want to do business with. Again, just giving you some insight as to how we operate, how you can expect things to flow when you book a limousine through our service, and hopefully we have an opportunity to have you experience the way that First Choice Limousine and Car Service does their rides to and from the airport. So if you're in the Princeton area, or if you're in Central New Jersey, give us a call. We're here to help. We're here to answer any questions you may have, and we look forward to meeting you.